اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا ومولانا محمد وبارك وسلم. Dear respected brothers, those that are sitting on the sides, if everybody could kind of come to this section, it would be a lot easier. Otherwise, whatever is easy for you. Today, the topic of my talk is the secret to solving problems. We are all faced with different problems within this life. You have those that are in school and they are struggling to revise, they are struggling to engage in their class, they are struggling to pass their exams. We have those that are struggling to get into universities that they want to. We have those that are struggling to find jobs, struggling to get promotions, struggling to get that first house, struggling to buy the car, struggling to find a spouse. Problem after problem after problem. No one is free from this. You may be married, but then you have issues within the marriage or in-laws. You have a job, but you have issues with your employer or your colleagues, or you're not being paid enough. You get into university, but then now you're struggling to pass the exams. You want to get that first class degree or 2-1 honors, but you're struggling. Problems after problems. People are thinking about their pension. People are thinking about their children. And the most important thing is thinking about the hereafter. So we are faced with problems upon problems. But what is the solution when we are in such a situation, when all doors feel closed, when you cannot find a solution? You're like, I feel trapped. I'm in this problem, but I can't find a solution. I'm in this problem, but there seems to be no escape. There is no solution. But the reason why there is no solution is because you are relying upon yourself. You are relying upon your intellect. You're relying upon your knowledge. You're relying upon your experience. But what does Almighty Allah state? And this is why the first part of the solution is what is mentioned in the Quran. And then the second part is that which is mentioned in the Hadith. The first part is this: وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. When a person feels that there is no way out, there is no solution, but that individual fears Almighty Allah, he turns to Almighty Allah, he increases in his fear of Almighty Allah, يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. He, Almighty Allah, will open up a way for him. So you may not find this solution for yourself, but when you are fearing Almighty Allah, when you have that God-fearingness within you, Allah will open up that way. And this is why whatever you are doing, think, am I doing that which will please Almighty Allah? Or am I engaging in haram? Am I trying to find that job which is 100% halal? Then Allah will help you. But if it contains haram, and you are upset that you cannot get that job, Allah will not open the way for you. Have that God-fearingness, that fear that Allah is watching me always. There may be no one watching you. However, Allah is always watching you. Your parents may go to sleep. Your children may go to sleep. Your spouse may go to sleep. Your colleagues may go to sleep. Your employer may not be observing you, but Allah is observing you. Because Allah does not sleep. Allah is free from sleep. He is observing you. So when you have that fear, when you're like, I cannot secure this contract, I'm trying to secure this deal, I'm trying to get this client, and there seems to be no way, fear Almighty Allah. Allah will secure that for you. Fear Almighty Allah, that client will come to you. Fear Almighty Allah, you will be admitted into that university. Fear Almighty Allah, you will get the job that you want to get. But the most important thing is the fear. And this is why in a hadith mentioned in Sahih al-Bukhari, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam mentions a story about a man from the previous generations, from Bani Israel. أنه ذكر رجلا من بني إسرائيل سأل بعض بني إسرائيل أن يسلفه 1000 دينار. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam said that there was a man in Bani Israel, the Israelites, who feared Almighty Allah. He needed 1000 dinars. Think of this as 10,000 pounds. He needed that 1000 dinars. So he asked the people of Bani Israel, is there anybody that can borrow me that 1000 dinars? One businessman came forward. He said, I'll give you that 1000. However, ائتني بالشهداء أشهدهم. However, bring me some witnesses, so that when I give you this money, there are credible witnesses. What did that God-fearing man reply to him? He said, كَفَى بِاللَّهِ شَهِيدًا. Allah is sufficient as a witness. The businessman thought, that is true. Allah is sufficient. Then he said, okay, ائتني بالكفيل. Give me a guarantor. What did he reply? كَفَى بِاللَّهِ كَفِيلًا. Allah is sufficient as a guarantor. What did that businessman reply? He said, صدقت. You've spoken the truth. فَدَفَعَهَا إِلَيْهِ إِلَى أَجَلٍ مُسَمَّى. So what did he do? He borrowed him that 1000 dinars. He thought, this man fears Almighty Allah, I'll give you the 1000. So what happened? This is in Sahih Bukhari. This isn't some fiction. This is the truth. What happened? The man went and traveled by the ocean on a boat, and he went and he engaged in business transactions, and Almighty Allah gave him so much more. However, the duration was coming of the deadline. Weeks have gone by, months have gone by. Now, he's only got a few weeks to get back. So he starts looking for what we call a helmsman, the captain of the boat, to take him, because he needs to go by the ocean. There's no other way to go back. So he starts looking. This person's busy. This person's unavailable. He can't find anybody. There's no boat to take him back. One day goes by. Second day goes by. Third day goes by. He's like, I won't make it in time. I said to that individual, Allah is my witness. Allah is my guarantor. I won't make it in time. He'll be thinking, what a liar. This guy has deceived me. What did he do? He turned to Almighty Allah. He stood by the ocean where the port is. He stood there. He said, Ya Allah, you know that I've tried. You know that I have the 1000 dinar with me. I want to give it to him, but I can find no way to get back. Ya Allah, I'm going to take a log, a branch of a tree. I'm going to make a hole in it. Put the 1000 dinars. I'm going to write a note. Put it within that log. And then I'm going to put it into the ocean. Ya Allah, make that reach that individual. So he did that. He got the log, made a hole, put the 1000 dinar. Imagine 10,000 pounds. He put 10,000 pounds. And with a note about the situation, he filled up that hole, he put it into the ocean. Will that reach him? Will it not reach him? But he made that dua to Almighty Allah. Oh Allah, I fear you. I gave my word, I want to fulfill my promise. So he gave it. Now what happened? He continued searching. Days went by, weeks went by, he was still searching. And finally he had the opportunity to travel back. But at the same time, over there, the businessman who borrowed him the money, he came, He's like, the days are finished. Now I'm at the final day. So the story from his side. He's at the final day. He thought, okay, the man hasn't come. Fair enough. He's still got 1 day. Let me go to the port. Because the boats are coming. Let me go and I'll just take the money from him. He goes, but there's no one there. He waits. No one turns up. No boat comes. He's like, have I been deceived? The man was God-fearing. I truly believe that he was God-fearing. Have I been deceived? So what can I do? What can I do? As he was about to leave, he saw this log flowing on the ocean. He thought, okay, let me just take this and I could use it to burn a fire at home. I've come all this way, let me take something at least. So he takes that log, he gives it to his family, he tells them cut it up so that we can use it for the fire. When they start cutting it, what do they find? They find that 1,000 dinars and they find that letter. They read that letter and they realize what happened with the other individual. Now, from the other side, he doesn't know what's going on. Many weeks later, he finally makes it back. And then he brings another 1,000. And he says to the man, here's 1,000 dinars that I owe you. He didn't mention about what he did. He said, here's 1,000 dinars that I owe you. The man said, did you not make any other arrangements to give me 1,000 before? He didn't say anything. He didn't want to disclose that which was between him and Almighty Allah. He's like, here's 1,000, I told you, here's the 1,000. I owe you 1,000, here's the 1,000. But then he mentioned, that log, I found it, I read your letter, that 1,000 that you gave out of the fear of Almighty Allah made it reach me. Therefore this additional 1,000 is yours. Can you imagine, brothers? This story mentioned in Sahih al-Bukhari of the Bani Israel, mentioned by the blessed, from the blessed mouth of our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is what happens. When all doors are closed, Almighty Allah will open up the door. But there's another thing. One is the first point, the fear of Almighty Allah. The second point is that which is mentioned in a hadith. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam said, and this hadith is mentioned in Sahih Muslim, Wallahu fi awni al-abd ma kana al-abdu fi awni akhih. Almighty Allah will help that believer, that servant, as long as he helps others. If he helps his brothers, if he helps others, Almighty Allah will help him. So when there is no solution, when you're struggling and you're like, I have so many problems, help others, Allah will help you. Even though you'll be thinking, I'm struggling to pass my own exam, how am I supposed to help my friend? I'm struggling to get my own job, how am I supposed to help my friend? I'm struggling to get my own promotion, how am I supposed to help somebody else? I'm struggling to fix up my own finance. I'm struggling to fix up my own problems. How am I supposed to be focusing on somebody else? But remember, if you put your focus on somebody else's problem, Allah will put His focus on your problem. If you support another person's problem, Allah will support your problem. If you put your hand upon somebody else's problem, Allah will put His hand of power without any comparison or similitude to creation, in a way which is befitting to His Majesty upon your problem. And this is why I want to mention and conclude on another hadith mentioned about a person of the hellfire meeting a person of Jannah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam said, and this hadith is mentioned in Musnad Abi Ya'la. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Inna rajul min ahli Jannah. That there is a man from the people of Jannah. La yushrifu ala ahli nar. He meets the people of the hellfire. فَيُنَادِيهِ رَجُلٌ مِّنْ أَهْلِ النَّارِ. A man from the people of the hellfire, he recognizes that person of Jannah. He's like, hold on, I know this person. So he calls out to him, Ya Fulan, oh so and so, Ama ta'rifuni? Do you not recognize me? Remember, these are the people of hellfire. This person is a person of Jannah. What did the hadith mention? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, the man said, Ama ta'rifuni? Do you not recognize me? The person of Jannah said, La, wallahi, manant. No, I swear by Allah, I don't recognize you. Who are you? What did he reply? He replied to him, أَنَا الَّذِي مَرَرْتَ بِي فِي الدُّنْيَا فَاسْتَسْقَيْتَنِي شَرْبَةَ مَاءٍ فَسَقَيْتُكَ. I am that person that within the dunya, one day you needed some water. You asked for water, I gave you some water. فَاشْفَعْ لِي بِهَا عِنْدَ رَبِّكَ. Now go and intercede for me to Almighty Allah because I gave you that water. Water. Pani. Ma. What's water? He gave him water. But he said to him, go intercede now for me because I did that for you. What did that man of Jannah do? He said, okay. He turned to Almighty Allah. He called out to Almighty Allah and he mentions what happened. And then he says to Almighty Allah, Ya Rabbi fashaffi'ni fi. Oh my Lord, accept my intercession for this individual. What did Almighty Allah do? Remember, you help others, Allah will help you. Even if it's something minor, Allah will help you. What happened? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam said, فَيُشَفِّعُهُ اللَّهُ فِيهِ وَأَخْرَجَهُ مِنَ النَّارِ. That Almighty Allah accepted the individual's intercession and Almighty Allah took that person out from the hellfire and admitted him into paradise. Giving some water. Now imagine helping somebody with more problems. How much reward you can get. How your problems can be eased. And look at the biggest reward he got. From being a person of the hellfire. Just because he gave water, Allah Ta'ala admitted him into paradise. Imagine if we do this for others, what Almighty Allah will bestow upon us. This is the mercy of Almighty Allah. This is the greatness of Almighty Allah. These are the favors of Almighty Allah. This is why I conclude two things. The first point was, if you want problems to be resolved, do not rely upon yourself, but turn to Allah and fear Almighty Allah and your problems will be resolved. Number two, don't focus on your own problems. Help others. Almighty Allah will solve your problems. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ الْمُبِينَ.